In the quiet hills of Judea, there lived a priest named Zechariah. He and his wife Elizabeth were righteous in the eyes of God, observing all the Lord's commands and decrees blamelessly. Day after day, Zechariah served in the temple, his life a testament to unwavering faith. Yet within the sanctity of their home, a quiet sorrow lingered. Their shared glances held a deep, unspoken love, but also the shadow of a dream unfulfilled, the ache of a cradle that remained empty. In moments of solitude, Zechariah would lift his gaze to the heavens, his face a portrait of solemn hope, his silent prayers rising like incense for a child in their old age. One day, the course of Zechariah's life was forever altered. It was his turn, chosen by lot from among the many priests, to enter the holy place of the Lord and burn incense. This was a sacred duty, a once-in-a-lifetime honor. As he stood alone amidst the hallowed grandeur of the temple, a brilliant yet gentle light materialized beside the altar. An angel of the Lord stood before him. Zechariah's look of holy reverence twisted into one of sheer terror. The angel's voice, calm and reassuring, cut through the sacred silence, promising him a son who would bring joy and delight to many. But as Zechariah heard the impossible words, his faith faltered. A lifetime of waiting had hardened into doubt. He questioned the angel, and in that moment of disbelief, the celestial being's expression grew serious. A divine judgment was passed, not of anger, but of instruction. Zechariah reached for his throat, a sudden panic in his eyes as he realized his voice was gone, replaced by a profound and humbling silence. He stumbled out of the temple, dazed and disoriented, into the blinding sunlight where a crowd had gathered, waiting for him to emerge and give the customary blessing. He opened his mouth, but no words came. He could only gesture, his hands frantically trying to paint a picture of the miracle and the judgment he had just witnessed. The people watched, confused and murmuring. Realizing he had seen a vision, he returned home to Elizabeth, his heart heavy with the incredible news and the frustrating inability to share it. In a moment of desperate inspiration, he seized a writing tablet. Elizabeth watched, her brow furrowed with concern, as he painstakingly wrote down the angel's promise. As she read the words, her eyes widened, then filled with tears of astonished joy. She looked up at her husband, and in the silence that enveloped them, a deep and perfect understanding passed between their souls. 9 months later, the promise was fulfilled. Elizabeth held their newborn son, her face glowing with a joy that erased decades of sorrow. Relatives and neighbors gathered, their voices filling the home with celebration. They insisted the boy must be named Zechariah, after his father. But Elizabeth, firm in her conviction, shook her head. "No," she declared, her voice clear and steady. "His name is to be John." The crowd protested, turning to the silent Zechariah for the final say. All eyes were on him as he took a tablet. With a hand that did not waver, he wrote the definitive words, "His name is John." In the very instant his stylus lifted from the tablet, a gasp tore from his throat. He drew a deep, shuddering breath and his tongue was freed. A voice, silenced for 9 long months, erupted not in mere speech, but in a torrent of powerful prophetic praise. The silence had been broken, and the period of waiting had transformed into a song of glorious fulfillment.